Hey everyone. Well, I know I haven't been on YouTube for a while, and there's actually a good reason for that, I guess you can say. Well, let me see if I can sum this up for you guys. On Friday, or maybe Thursday, one of my friends, she's working for GameStop, and she goes to quit, and she tells the manager she's paying her 2 weeks notice, and so he has her fill out the 2-week resignation. And after she's done, I talked with him, and I told him that I might be looking for another job. You know, I'm not giving you my 2 weeks, I'm not resigning, just to let you know, maybe in a few months I might be looking for another job. And that when I give my 2 weeks, I'll stay with you as long as I can. So, okay, thank you for telling me. And then later on, another GA comes in, and he also puts in his 2 weeks, and then they have him write his letter of resignation. So basically, I'm gonna be coming back and forth to this just in case you guys are a little wanting me to get to the point. I'll come back to it. So basically, the weekend pass. Well, I think I'll just go in order. I don't want to jump around and confuse you guys. So Saturday comes, and let's just say something happened on Saturday, or should I say Friday. My manager felt ill, so he was in the back for 2 hours, and my friend, who is a fourth key, basically he can hold on to the key, but he can't really close or open the store. He's left alone, having to deal with customers and actually close the store, which he can't do, so he can only lock up. So he locks up the doors and turns the open sign off, and he fixes his store as well as he can, but the registers he can't touch. And later on he's going to miss his bus, so he gives the keys to the manager, and then he takes off and goes home. And the manager, I'm not sure what time he left, but he leaves, and then it turns into the next morning. And I come in, and the computers are still on. Usually when you close a store, you shut them down temporarily. They get pulled. Basically all the information, the transactions, all that gets sent to corporate. But this time they're still on. So I look at the computer, and it says the actual date would be the 7th, but the business date was 6th, which meant that if I rang anyone up, it would be for yesterday, not for today, or of that day. So I called the POS help desk. They guided me through, they helped me get everything back to normal. I even opened 10 minutes late. But I would like to emphasize I helped my manager out that day. He owes me big time. Anyway, there was no schedule, so that day later on I actually had to work together with my friends who were working with me to make a schedule, to just put something together for the next day. And so when Sunday came, my manager calls in and says, "Oh look, I made a schedule for you guys. It's not official, but here it is. Just go ahead and write it in." So it's already in, and I'm working Sunday with a GA, and he can only stay for so long, and I totally understand that. And the last 2 hours of the store, I guess the store being open the last 2 hours, is when my GA left. He couldn't stay anymore, and I really appreciate that he stayed there. He really helped me out. And so for those 2 hours I was helping customers, and the store was kind of not becoming a mess, but somewhat. And then it's time to close the store. So I only had about maybe a half an hour or 40 minutes to really clean up the store, but I couldn't because, of course, I have to close the registers, I have to count the money, prepare a deposit, and everything else. So that takes up almost all of my time. And well, basically, I ran out of time. I couldn't stay over hours because, well, there weren't enough hours to really clean up the rest of this mess, so to put it. So basically, I put together what I could, and I made the store, I guess, somewhat decent, and then I left. And then in the morning, this would be Monday morning, my manager calls me and says, well, what happened? Why is the store such a mess? And I told him that I ran out of hours. Now I know he doesn't want me going past hours, so once I go to a certain point, I can't go any further. So I have to clock out, and that's it. I can't work anymore, which means I have to leave the store the way it is, unless he wants me to go past it, and that's not good either. So he says, well, the store is a mess. I'm like, well, this is what happened. And he asked me about a couple other things, and of course, you know, I explained them, but he's like, well, okay. And then I get off the phone with him. This is like 10 a.m. in the morning. So he calls me back, I don't know, maybe 10:15, 10:30. And he says, well, you know, the store's a mess. You were short on both registers, and the safe's a little short. And I'm just confused. Huh? How? Why? You know, I like double, triple counted that thing. That's what he said. I mean, he said, well, you're not performing well, and performance is judged by subscriptions and reservations. That's it. So when people say, do you want to subscribe, do you want to say 10%, that helps us out. It shows the corporate that we're doing a good job, that we are doing our job and asking everyone and trying our best. And reservations is really helping you guys out, so you can reserve your game. But he told me that I haven't been performing well. And so he says, and you know what? You're quitting anyway, right? And I guess he was referring back to, what, Thursday, Friday? And I told him that I was thinking about looking for another job. And I told him I wasn't putting in my 2 weeks, that I did not do, this isn't a resignation or anything. That I believe that's what he was referring to. And I told him, so when he asked me that if I was quitting, I said, no. I was thinking about it, but no. You know, I was thinking about looking for another job. I didn't give my 2 weeks. I didn't sign my letter of resignation. He's like, well, bring in your keys. I don't need you anymore. Nice, huh? I said, what? You know, I was just really surprised. I said, what? And he's like, yeah, bring in your keys. I don't need you anymore. And that's basically it. I called some of my friends who work for GameStop. I have quite a few, but I talked with them and they said it doesn't seem right. So I talked to my district manager and I told him what happened. And he said, well, that person wasn't supposed to say it that way, which means technically he knew about it. And I talked with him. He says, well, once you mention that you are thinking about looking for another job, that technically qualifies as you resigning, I guess. You don't have to put in 2 weeks or anything like that. As soon as they find someone, that's it. You've resigned. So he said that he would put all the money onto my e-card, which is basically, if you're a GameStop employee, there's 2 ways, maybe there's a third one, but there's 2 ways of how you get paid. They put it onto like a debit card, or they deposit straight into your bank account. And I chose the debit card way. So he put all my money onto the card. He even gave me a few hours extra for dropping off the key to the store. And that's it. I described that to some of my friends and they said, well, it sounds like you got terminated. I said, no. Well, they said I resigned. So I'm not really sure what to think. I don't know what my status is. Was I terminated or did I resign? According to my district manager, who's above my manager, he said that I resigned. But the actions and the way everything went about seemed like I got terminated, which I just can't figure out. So this is where I'm at right now. Well, technically I called human resources. I'm still waiting on that. I should probably call him back in maybe an hour or two. And let me point out, I'm not trying to get my job back. It wouldn't make sense to come back for about 4 or 5 months and then to just quit again. But I definitely did not want to leave GameStop that way. You know, in a way, this actually feels, even if I did actually, if they put it resigned, it feels like I was still in a way terminated. You know, think about it this way. Well, first thing, how I left the store and the registers, or how I performed according to my district manager, had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with me resigning or quitting, or however you put it. So then why did my manager tell me that? Interesting, huh? Anyway, the way I see it is that if they're already thinking about this, then all my manager had to do is just wait for a day where I didn't do well, and then he could just tell me that. Doesn't that sound like being fired? Wait until a day that you don't perform well, and look, I can replace you. Just like that. It sounds like getting fired to me. If you guys don't know my manager, I say that you're lucky. Very lucky. I'm just not sure what to do right now. And the funny thing, I don't have a job. Any job. Which, I don't know. Has this ever happened to anyone before? Do you guys think this is right? Do you think technically it was correct? Because I'm having trouble understanding this. I am. I have a lot of friends who are there. They're still there. And I don't want them to think that I got fired or I just left like that for some unknown reason. You know? In a way, I'm just as confused as they are. You know, when you stay there for what, 2.5 years, you go through what, 4 managers, 3 district managers. You've been there that long. You really have a close friendship with a lot of people who work at the other stores. You see regulars there constantly. You know, you see them every day. They come just to talk with you and see how everything's going. And now within one day, you're gone. No one has any idea. And the only thing the manager says is, oh, he's gone. That's it. He's gone. No explanation, no nothing, just he's gone. So now it seems like it's my fault. Like I left for like an unknown reason, or something bad happened. So, just in case you guys are wondering, some of you guys, and when I say guys, I mean everyone who worked for GameStop. All my friends who I always talk to on the phone when I'm calling about 5 o'clock numbers, or to see if you guys have a game to help a customer out. This is what happened. You know, I didn't really choose to leave. I didn't. You know? And I'm still gonna keep in touch with you guys. I don't know what happened. And to all my regulars, if you ever see this video or stumble upon it, I don't know. I wish I could have stayed for like 4 more months, but they just, I guess you could say in a way, screwed me over. That's it, and that's how my week started out. And I know a lot of my friends who don't work for GameStop yet, they know I do. This might be the first time you're seeing this. And I'm sorry I didn't get to tell you in person or over the phone, through a text message or messaging on MySpace. But I just kind of have to get this off my chest, you know? There's some people I just... I feel like if I told them, they would be disappointed. You know? For a while, I was thinking about quitting because of my previous manager. She would push really hard. She would make things very stressful. If I didn't perform well, and she would yell at me saying things were unacceptable. Everything just was really high pressured, and it shouldn't be that way. So I was really thinking about quitting. And when this new guy came along, they said, we'll give him a warm welcoming, and that's what I did. But things just weren't working out. I could tell. But I guess that's in the past, sort of. And I'm just trying to deal with things, figure out what to do, look for another job, and whatever that is. Just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I mean, yeah, I have a BA in digital media arts. I can do fully ADR, audio recording, music composition, but after a while you think, do you really want to do your entire life? It's something I'm greatly interested in, something that I like doing with friends, but when you have no job, you get to second thinking, I guess. You think about the quickest way that you can get a job and help build a career with something that you're very good at doing. And fully in ADR, music composition, everything else that goes with digital media, all that stuff I can do, but getting a job in that place, in that field, and working your way up from there, it seems more complicated. It seems like I have to have a lot more time on my hands, more dedication. And right now it seems like I just need another job. Whether that be at Fry's or I don't know where. But now it becomes complicated. I need a job that I could probably turn into a career and work at that place for a very long time. When you quit, the way I see it is you quit because you have a plan and you're in control of quitting that job, where they let you go within that 2 weeks notice or anything. You have a plan. So when you're let go, you're ready. When you get fired, something happens and you're let go, and now you have to scavenge around and look for a job, which is how I feel. I thought I got let go. I doubt it, but I still feel like I just got kicked out. So, yeah. This is basically where I'm at right now. I still find it funny. I check on the store, I call to make sure everything's okay. I even see if customers need help, which is really odd. Very odd. And no one thinks it's right, just in case you're wondering. From the friends I've talked with, they don't think it's right what happened to me. If they don't think it's right, then I'm pretty sure it isn't. Maybe it's something shady that was going on. Maybe they were looking for a reason. I don't know. But here I am. No job. No income. I don't really know what to say. I have a lot of emotion going into me right now. And you really shouldn't have seen me Monday. That was a pretty bad day. But, I guess that's how I'll leave it. I know things will probably turn out better. But, to all my friends at GameStop, all the customers, all my co-workers, everyone who I've met, grown up with, people who are no longer there and left the company, I want to say that I'll miss you guys. Working there for 2.5 years, you really see a lot, you progress a lot. That's See you guys later.